Diego Ramos.
Green today. We'll touch on that later on. For now, our first session after the lunch break. KA Senior ready to go. 10 laps on the board, and we're underway.
Malka dropping the left side tires into the grass. We've seen that before at Jay Irwin in the shifter race. But yeah, good start for Paulie Massimino. Xander out to an early lead. Everybody else slotting in 2-3. 3 wide potentially lining up into the 2-3 combination. Chicane that leads out onto the short chute over to turn number 4.
Big wide run here. 2 and 3 abreast as you mentioned, Rob. All fighting to then cover off the inside. Only 1 or 2 drivers, I think, ended off into the dirt in 4. And somehow, some way, 46K Seniors entered Sector 1. 46 have exited, and we're about to get them up to full song for the first time down this backstretch.
You can try to go 2 wide, 3 wide as long as you want through the opening parts of this racetrack, but once you come out of the double apex right-hand turn number 5 into the S's, you are single file. Great start for a number of these drivers. There's the early front runner right there, Paulie Massimino into the lead, but Jackson Gibson jumping up into second early on.
Yeah, that was a good start for Jackson. As you can see, the middle of the top 10 are still trying to just hold station, hold position down into turn number 1. A fair bit of defending and covering off. The nice part about the way turn 1 leads out is the same here as turn number 3. The added runoff over the years allow that narrower entry, and you can just kind of take up a little more racetrack on exit. As we see Diego Ramos make a move there off the run from the exit of 3 on Chase Hand. So move last year's champion in the KA Senior class, the double winner the last time the Pro Tour was underway. Both days of action in Indiana had the PSL Bureau Art driver end on the top step, as well as his first Pro X30 win. And up front, he's going to get a little bit closer to the top spot with a pass for the lead. How about the West Coast kid, Jackson Gibson, taking over here at the end of lap number 2?
Yeah, former Micro Swift Super Nationals champion Jackson Gibson goes to the lead. Right back by comes the veteran Massimino, and now the youngster there, Gibson, is going to get flanked by both Massimino and McQueen. A couple of veteran drivers going to put the pressure on the young driver out of the Pacific Northwest. Back to the bottom of the racetrack again. This track, as I said, lots of opportunity to go down the inside. The minute you open up and try to run maybe the traditional racing line, you open up the inside run, and there goes by Gibson. He'll take over the lead once again. And these front drivers have to watch out. They got a bit of a gap right now, some cushion over Diego Ramos, but the minute you start battling like this, you can see Ramos right back into making a front-running quartet.
And now at this point, they've swapped it twice, and it's gone back the way of Gibson. And I think with 3 veterans behind him, if Jackson hits his marks and doesn't make any mistakes, they'll be content to ride. In Jackson's case right now, while the viewers at home might be watching going, hey man, you went to the lead, you went back, well, I take that back. They're going to go right on. But the reason why he has to fight back and forth is right now he's got to earn a little bit of respect. And respect is always that mix of admiration and a bit of fear of the driver around to be able to get the better of you. He's surrounded by 3 drivers who spent multiple race weekends last year, and in the case of Ramos and Paulie Massimino, years of trusting each other and racing cleanly amongst each other at the front. He is the odd man out. He needs to get them to have some faith in him and want to work with him when he is the faster car.
And I think that's the key right there. You don't want to let be passed but not pass back by. You don't want to look like you're just going to lie over anytime somebody goes by you. You want to fight back, but you want to do it cleanly. You want to make sure those reply moves, that move to get back to the lead, is done precisely. So a guy like Paulie Massimino or Caden McQueen says, yeah, I can go wheel to wheel with this kid, and we can race hard. So indeed, there's a move from McQueen. He'll go down the inside of turn 1. You can see Gibson try to follow him through. He may lose a spot here. Went to the inside, indeed. Diego Ramos able to come through as well.
Chase Cassie Lee now latching on, setting fast time of the race in the process on the Bennett prototype chassis. As now McQueen goes all the way back to 5th there as he got really bogged down on the exit of the corner. Here come a pair of GFCs. How about the youngster Matt Tagle and Chase Hand swapping spots there for the 6th spot as they catch up to the Sodi. But the other half of that, as much as you want to push back and show that you aren't the doormat, you don't get walked on, you also don't just want to be a nuisance and start to frustrate the drivers around you. There's a weird fine line balance that all these rookies going up against the veterans of the class need to find their footing and hopefully not go too far, because we've seen it on both ways. We've seen a driver with a lot of speed be a little bit too nice too early on in their career as they first blossom in, and then they almost have to kind of go extreme on the other end of the spectrum, races down the line just to garner some respect back. We've also seen guys, young kids with a whole lot of eager and energy and tenacity to them that have frustrated the drivers around and made no friends early, and then when you need friends at certain points in the race, there's none to be found.
Well, let's remember and say this, that every one of these veterans who are the pros, who are expecting the rookies to do the right thing, they were all rookies themselves as well. They got roughed up a little bit. They had to learn the ways. They've been through it, right? They've done the school of hard knocks, so they're expecting the same out of the young drivers as well.
Just saw a hand signal from Ramos, and I want to keep an eye on him when we get down to turn 1 as McQueen goes back and forth with the GFCs. You saw him look back. He pointed forward, gave a thumbs up to Gibson as if he was going to make a move here. I don't think he had the run to do it, but I couldn't quite tell in reading that bit of Brazilian-American sign language from Diego Ramos of whether or not he was signaling, hey, work with me, I'm about to go, or stay in line, keep doing what you're doing, kid, we're going to get away. Let's see what these next laps kind of show us here as we're already past halfway, quickly putting him up and picking him up and putting him down here in this KA Senior pre-final. And the driver that's doing that the best right now, speed-wise, definitely seems to be that blue and orange machine moving into the 4th spot. Chase Cassie Lee is just slowly creeping up to the rest of the leaders.
And let's talk about that story. You mentioned it briefly about the prototype Bennett kart. If you've been around karting for a while, you know the Bennett name. It's been around for almost a couple decades now in terms of being up front. But they're primarily a cadet chassis, right? That's what they've done. They've worked on that cadet program. They've won countless races and championships. Nick Mitchell now working to get that full-size kart, that junior kart, that senior kart dialed in, and the shifter as well. So it's cool to see Bennett kind of expanding out into the remainder of the categories you'd see week in and week out. Again, they've got a fantastic program for cadets, and I have no doubt that they're going to see this full-size and shifter package develop throughout the year as well.
Now as the leaders have stabilized, the rest of the field seemingly has as well. Caleb Gaffera all the way back in 11th just went purple, and he just had a send right there, perfectly caught down to the inside of Isaac Malcutt for 10th. chipping away and moving forward. He's not the only one starting to charge up the leaderboard after, in his case, fading backwards a little bit off the start. The biggest mover is only back in 20th. Edgar Rodriguez, terrible qualifying effort. He's up 17 spots, by the way, but up front, I don't want to take anything away from what we've got, because at any moment, this could really explode into a fight here, coming now to 2 laps to go, and a lot of them still lined up in the train, and Paulie, feeling the pressure, begins to just fade a bit to the low side. He had about a car length cushion. That's now gone. And now we're going to really see how wide and how racy Musselman Honda Circuit is with the biggest lead pack so far today. 5 up front. It could be 10 in a moment. Ramos to the inside in turn 4.
Look at the over-under, though, further back there for Gassia Lee as well. He's going to come out potentially P2. He'll roll the outside, and you can do that here in turn number 5. Indeed, Gassia Lee over-under in turn number 4. Better exit, and he'll follow Ramos through. It's Gassia Lee on the Bennett to P2.
Massimino with a great recovery there. You saw him go a little bit narrow on the entry to turn 9. That was perfectly done to slow the corner and buy him a little real estate as he had McQueen bearing down. Now Caden tries the high side. That'll give him the inside in 12. Nice move by McQueen to get to 3rd. 1 to go. 1 driver off. That's McKeithen in the black suit all the way at the back of the train. Ramos now parking the bus, and McQueen's going to stuff Gassia Lee for 2nd. That'll push him back to 4th, maybe 5th if Gibson can get by into turn number 2. He'll hang on to P4, and McQueen now vulnerable into 4. This could give the race to Ramos, and he will cover down the inside. Deep run on the inside, and that is good news for the classes coming up, because the more these guys race, the more they clear a path to go 2 and 3 wide everywhere else.
Sandra, I think you nailed it there. The minute that McQueen went defensive on Massimino, it's kind of handed that race win over to Diego Ramos. Ramos started back and forth, going to potentially come away with an easy win here, but here's the big run down the straightaway. Let's see what happens further back. Everybody looking over the shoulder. Who's going to make the first big move? Massimino going to go around the outside. Does he pitch up the bottom of turn 12? He does not. It's going to be a victory for Ramos. Very nicely across the line. One of the GFC's way off the track. Matty K.